Lydia Walter. Why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Because neither one of us wear pink camo.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, man, I'm from Wisconsin. I listen to the East Coast Bowhunters because you don't get anything more real than these guys.
Because East Coast Bowhunting sets the standards for keeping its listeners informed on everything that matters in the hunting industry.
It's nice having somebody, local and represent the East Coast boys.
The East Coast is going to saddle up.
Number one source for slaying whitetails on the East Coast.
Well, you might see Jesus if you actually choose something that'll get you into heaven.
Why East Coast? Why not? I'm East Coast, baby. That's how we roll. Chew on that.
Come on the show a stranger, and you feel like one of the boys when you leave.
Because I get my hunting camp anytime I want.
There's some absolute monsters roaming the East Coast, and I think it needs a little attention, so why not bring it to the East Coast Bowhunters Podcast?
Man, because East Coast is a tight-knit crew, and y'all like me. Raw, real, no bullshit.
Because you guys are hometown boys. I love you guys.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
This is Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bowhunter, and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is the only hunting podcast I'll tune into.
$10 cover. Thank you. Next. $10 cover. Yep, $10. Thank you. Next. Man, what'd I tell you, bro? No outside drinks. Oh, shit, that should be. You good player. No, keep your $10. You rockin' Shabine. Come on in to Slayer Club at the Dirty Water, hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. This is another episode of the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. I'm your boy D-Rock, here with East Coast Trev. And Ryan is stuck at the Grinder Studio filming, so he'll be MIA. We have an awesome guest with an even better radio voice, Chase Rohlfsen from Rubline Marketing. And this episode is brought to you by Shabine Brewing, the Hunter's Beer. What you got to say about Shabine?
I love Shabine.
Good enough. 100 Demons, East Coast hardcore music, known worldwide. They're probably the hardest of the hard, and they are known worldwide, so I want to fuck with them.
And the East Coast is fuck.
Trev's Euros for all your Euro mount needs.
That guy really sucks.
Well,
he's not good at what he does.
He's alright.
He should get a real job.
He's alright. I still need my Euro, though. Encore targets, self-healing targets to self-heal your pockets. That's the perfect target for my Mexican ass. Meyer trail cameras. Who's on your hit list, Trev?
Oh, I love my Meyer trail camera. Clear as the blue sky.
Dude, 1080p and more? I mean, that's just looking like your TV.
I think that their motto should be self-healing for the self-healing targets. Like self-healing your pockets. Because they're so damn cheap.
Oh. I was wondering where you're getting it.
I didn't know it.
Outright hunting products. Be More Pro is the last bow hanger you'll ever buy. This, like Trev always says, it's the erector set for the grown-ass hunter. I mean, you get bow hangers, camera hanger. I mean, you name it, they have it. And it's not lightweight for your private lands. You get screw sets in there, so this way you just leave it there for the next time you go out. I mean, it's super light and versatile. Love it.
And they make a state land piece.
Ooh, with a strap. Everyone likes to put on a strap, especially here in the club. Yo, that music's bumping. Death Wish Coffee, the world's strongest coffee.
That is the strongest coffee. You only need one cup.
What happens if you have more than one cup?
Never mind.
You look like that lady out on the dance floor?
Yeah, exactly.
Too many Red Bulls and vodka?
And roofies?
Red Bulls and roofies. Only at the club.
That's it.
Ethics Archery. It's like steroids for your arrows. I never took steroids, but now I do for my arrows. Nah. How about Big Hoss? Don't fuck with him. Buy Ethics. Or he'll eat all your guinea pigs. Tree Thrasher. Imitate the wild. What do you got?
Sound like that big old buck. Just making that full circle.
Hell yeah, painting the picture right. Nor'easter game calls. Get them in close. What do you got to say about Nor'easter, man?
I love Mock.
Mock.
He's the man. It's like, I don't know. I can't. They're the greatest calls out there. He makes creations come alive. He has a mind of an artist, and he really puts it into everything that he makes. Whether it's the 3D memories, whether it's his calls, whether it's his knives, he really just brings dreams to real life.
It is pretty cool that you just tell him exactly what you want, and he gives you exactly what you need. I mean, I showed you that Baltic Amber crow call that I had him made, and that's, 50,000 years old, that amber? It's like I'm almost afraid to use it.
Yeah. Or the mammoth tooth or whatever else he's making.
I'm lying. I use it all the time. People at home hate me. People at work hate me. I'm just crowing all over. Walmart. I got banned from Walmart. Let's see. So saddle up with Wild Edge Inc., the leader in mobile hunting. Live wild and get you a perch.
If my fat ass can get up there, anybody can.
True that.
Saddle up.
Saddle up. Just for the first-time listener tuning in, what do you got tattooed on your belly?
Saddle up.
Hell yeah. That's commitment right there. Shit. I'm waiting for that Wild Edge tattoo on your body now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And you know what? It's perfect. Wild Edge is perfect to enhance your hunting scenarios, too. You ain't picking a tree, you're picking a spot.
So how high can you get with 8 steps?
As high as you fucking want, quote unquote.
Lydia.
Yeah. Yeah. Because neither you and I wear pink camo. This show is driven by Scranton Motors and powered by Scranton Power Sports.
He's a true supporter.
Hell yeah. Caddy Cowboy is ill, and Phil at Scranton Power Sports takes care of a mofo over here. Picking up my quad, getting it ready for the big woods. We appreciate you and everything that everyone in the Scranton family provides for the podcast. Thank you. And we are presented by Working Class Bowhunter, the self-made hunting podcast OGs, the street corner bush latte pushers, the brand in the hunting industry. East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up?
What up, D-Rock?
What's good, East Coast Trev?
Not, man. So pumped to be down here in the dirty.
I know. Do you feel a little dirty?
I do, man. I love coming down here. It's a shitty ride, but it's somewhere new, and I always like coming down here.
Hell yeah. Now you know what I live. Yeah. Every day I go to Coventry. Yeah. Shit ass fucking drive. You know what makes it a shitty drive is actually the Hartford traffic, to be honest.
If we just cut Hartford out of the fucking middle of it, we probably wouldn't have those problems, because that's exactly it. It's just getting through the tunnel and Hartford, and then everything else is just it's gravy. Yeah. It's crazy, but
it's crazy, man.
I'm glad to be down here.
I'm glad to have you back down in this studio. So, I mean, it's one of our 3 studios. We got Moodus, Coventry, and the Dirty. I mean, we're all over Connecticut.
The Dirty Club.
We're like a plague. We're kind of like the herpes of Connecticut.
That's it.
In a good way, though.
If you don't like us, you got to reckon with us.
Well, I'm just saying, you can't get rid of us, so you might as well just join us.
Yep. True statement.
Get used to it. Get a prescription medicine so you can handle us.
Hell yeah.
This way it might not get an outbreak, even though we're spreading like the
plague.
Like herpes.
Okay.
Like herpes. We're more of a love STD.
Okay.
You know? Does that make sense?
A good disease.
Well, STD just
it's like Billy Madison would say, you're not cool unless you pee your pants.
I'm saying. I think I'm peeing my pants now. Oh no, that wasn't that.
Oh.
That was something else.
Oh.
I spilled some Shabine on my shorts. It's just crazy, man. From day one, 2018 September, how we just made it all the way to now. It's just been such a roller coaster ride. And I want to touch on the subject that I'm going to be real quick on this. Is from then until now, of course, we had all the supporters in the beginning. And we had the people on in other podcasts, you know. And then, of course, I'm sure other podcasts had a lot of opinions about us, good and bad. Of course, our family was always behind us 100%. And we always had supporters. Shout out to, of course, our title sponsor, Working Class Bowhunter, helping us every step of the way to get started in the beginning. And we still keep in contact on a regular basis. This goes out to the people that are hating now because of success. And I don't consider us successful. I consider us influential. You agree, East
I
Coast?
totally agree. 100%. And when Chris Silk said it the best was, you're not doing it right if you don't have haters. What did he say?
If you don't have haters, you ain't doing it right.
Right. And that's the truth. And it didn't really touch home until right about now. And it really starts to make a little bit more sense.
Exactly, because you and I have been grinding really, really hard. And Ryan contributes as well. He's grinding hard at Grindr. So for all you, because we are pro whatever you like, if you're gay or heterosexual or like them both because you're greedy, check out Ryan. He likes them all.
Yep.
He's just greedy.
That's it. True.
But on some for reals, for all you haters, I'm not going to say fuck off. I'm going to say thank you.
Yeah.
And I say thank you. Why? Because we do it because of you. You drive us. We do it for the people that support us mainly because we do spread the education, the knowledge, and the love. But everyone needs to jump on board on the unity. And hating on someone ain't unifiable. Maybe you shouldn't live in the United States of America. They let my Mexican ass in here because I got lots of love. And lots of love, so this way we could spread the right knowledge. So I'm just very happy to be to this point at this time of the year at our most influential peak of within our first year, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, like I say, the most like on a lot of social media when I run into haters is that just keep doing what you're doing because you're just fueling my fire. And you're going to have to deal with me. You're going to see me, and it's not going to be the last time. And that's the same with the podcast. This isn't the last time you're going to see us, and not last time you're going to hear us in your earbuds, because we're here and we're here to stay.
For sure. Unless I find a better podcast to start, Trev.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just playing. I'm East Coast to the day I die, man.
That's it.
But yeah, on a positive note, and we're turning that into positive, is thank you, haters, for trolling our social medias and letting other people know that we're influencing your life. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for us being in your thoughts. So moving on. What's in our future, Trev?
In our future?
Yeah, well, what do you got coming up? And what do you think we got coming up in our near future?
I personally, I got a lot of good things to come. As far as just this upcoming hunting season, I'm looking forward to that with the East Coast team and really putting that grind in the woods and definitely making a stamp as far as that goes. And I'm really looking forward to the shoot
July 20th.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that as far as a future goal.
So that's, you said 85% you're going. Is that more locked in now, or?
I think we're still at like 90%.
Okay, that's better than 85.
Yeah.
That's better than 85. I got a substitute for you if you don't make it.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't make it, because I really like this guy.
Oh, great. Thanks. Fuck off.
I'm joking, man. There ain't no sub for East Coast Trev, man.
No.
But
what is for the future to hold, D-Rock?
Well, I'll be bow fishing down in Maryland.
Have we set a date on that yet?
I'm shooting for not this coming weekend. I mean, in real time, it would not be the weekend of the 21st, but the June 21st would be the following weekend. But in podcast land, I probably already went bow fishing. So it's stingray season. I'm trying to get some stingrays. Hopefully, I get lucky enough to get some snakeheads. Hopefully, we can.
They've been smashing snakeheads.
Oh, for sure. And hopefully, Clint from Truth from the Stand can join me, because we've been chatting back and forth, because he's all about it. We just had, by this time, we had Megan Patrick on board. You might see her face down in Maryland bow fishing, which will be really cool. And, I mean, our future as a podcast, I mean, I'm sure you and I will be hunting whitetail in Ohio.
Yep.
With Ryan Davis and Keith Chirac and his wife Stephanie Chirac, Tattooed in Wild. Shout out to Tattooed in the Wild. And also,
I'm hoping that we go and visit our boy Stephen Clark or even Mark Hurley for a bear this season.
Oh, that's going to happen.
I think that's been something in the back of my mind, something I definitely want to conquer. And speaking of Stephen, he's got one of probably the biggest velvet deer thus far that I've seen out of anybody on camera.
Bigger than what's in my garage? Oh, on camera, you're saying?
On camera.
Oh, I thought you meant down.
That he's chasing. I'm really looking forward to seeing that deer either in velvet, him with his hands on it, or in hard horned. So I'm really excited for that. But
hell yeah! And then we have hunts. I mean, my birthday, I'll be hunting Sika deer. That's definitely coming up. That'll be in October.
Nice. That's sick.
Yeah. You might see East Coast Trev and myself on Tack Driver TV soon for maybe a special hunt somewhere here in the East Coast. We're going to lay the smack down. I'm working on that for sure. We're going to come up with a monster is our main goal for East Coast Trev and I. We can't tell you exactly where, but it is New England, and we're going to surprise some Midwesterners. Hopefully we can bring that to fruition and make that happen. That'd be really cool.
We've been working on. That is something that I am very, very, very looking forward to.
Yeah. Because I think we're going to make it happen. I feel really good about it. I don't normally get this feeling, and usually when I do, something goes down. But you never know.
Hunting's hunting, baby.
Oh, I swear to God, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. But, yeah, man. I mean, that's what we got for the future, and hopefully we got continue these great guests coming on. And, I mean, right now in podcast land, we just finished recording with Megan Patrick, killing it. And we hope you enjoy the show. So I'm really glad you guys are here, for sure. Thank you for following the podcast.
Oh, your weekly deer news with East Coast Trev. First off, I want to start by saying that WCB, the Working Class Bow Hunter, has gone live with Season 2 Carbon TV. So if you haven't already, please go out and check that out. They're starting off with Rut Daniels from Catching Deer. All right.
Catching Deers.
Catching Deers.
Yeah.
So let's start off with a couple of bills that are in the works for the East Coast. We'll start off with Pennsylvania. A watered-down bill has passed the Senate that has been a law since 1895. Yes, 1895. The bill started off as allowing 14 Sunday hunts, which has been watered down to 3 Sunday hunts throughout the year. This is a big step in the right direction for the state, and the next step is to be sent to the General Assembly. This is hoping to hit the floor in the next week or so. These are all blue laws that we deal with day in and day out here in Connecticut. Laws that were written in the 1850s. And I want to wish the best of luck to Pennsylvania in this moving forward. In other news, Vermont has big changes proposed for the 2020 deer season. Hunters will be limited to 1 buck per year. This will change from the 2 deer buck limit and make hunters more selective and allow bigger management for deer growth.
Now, is that for any specific reason that you may know of, or?
I'm not really sure exactly why this one is, but in the future, the future laws that I'm going to let you know about and read, I do know the reasons for those.
Okay.
I think that it's just that they're trying to make bigger deer because they already have an antler restriction of 3 inches or more. And I think that they're just trying to manage a bigger buck population.
Even though out of Vermont specifically, they took out like 20 some odd year old deer.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what the fuck?
I know it's crazy.
Well, I mean, DNR usually knows what they're doing, so I mean, we side with conservation, so we'll just go with it, man.
Of course. But they will also lift the 3-inch antler restriction in the Green Mountains and the Northeast Mountain Kingdom. They're going to add a new 4-day antlerless muzzleloader season before the rifle season to hunt does and spike horns under 3 inches in horns. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
That'll give you a little bit more odds to get out there. Also, a big bonus that all archer hunters during archery season will be able to use crossbows in archery season, which will also begin earlier in September 15th. So they're going to open when Connecticut opens, and they're going to be opening a little bit earlier.
And that's good that they're opening to crossbows because I'll always say it, man. I mean, me specifically, when my first bow hunt was a crossbow because I was injured. But it is the perfect segue for a rifle hunter.
Yeah, and that's the reason they're doing this. They're doing this because the Department of Fish and Game hope to bring 200 to 300 new adult hunters into the sport of archery hunting. They are hoping to finalize the proposal at the end of June for the 2020 season. So when I was reading about this, they're trying to do that to bring in hunters who may not have been raised around hunting. So that's why they're proposing those laws of DNR up there.
The crazy part is, right, like if a rifle hunter really knew, yeah, maybe compound is harder than a crossbow to learn and this or that, or even trad is even harder. But if they only knew that it's actually way more dangerous than a gun or a compound, in my eyes anyways.
I agree.
I've seen people chop their freaking thumbs off. Like,
yeah, if they keeping their finger on the rail or whatever, I mean, it's definitely way more dangerous than
because
than most.
There's guards, and the people that I saw them do that to themselves, first of all, it was like wow factor, right? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, my natural reaction, I went and grabbed the severed member, and I stuck it in ice right away before even running.
Oh, you've actually physically seen this happen?
Yeah, man. It was insane. Talk about blood, and talk about seeing some
holy fuck,
a hardcore motherfucker going from hardcore to pale white. Dude, he was in straight shock. I won't say his name, but he knows who I'm talking about. He listens to the show. And he was a gun hunter. So naturally, what does a gun hunter do is spread their fingers over yeah. And even with the finger guards, sometimes, straight, like, ready to shoot crossbows straight out the box, sometimes the finger guards need to be upgraded and they're not big enough.
Holy
or if
shit.
the dude's got bigger hands, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you know what they say about big hands.
Yeah, they got big socks. Or big gloves.
Yeah, big gloves, big gloves. Unless you're wearing mittens, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So my first natural reaction was to go get his severed member and just put his thumb to be exact, and put it on ice. And then I checked on him because, I mean, he ain't going to die from that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it was still crazy as fuck. So if you're going to do crossbow, just take the proper course, safety precautions, listen to the instructor or whoever's teaching you. Just keep them fingers close.
I agree. They're definitely dangerous. So with all these big changes going up and down the East Coast, even the Midwest or even out West, I wish everybody the best of luck. Call your
DNR?
No, call your DNR or even
your mama?
No, your politicians.
Oh, your politicians.
Yep, to help move this along because I these things need to be talked about and helped out. So as for always, if you guys have something to share to us, send your news.
To Ryan.
Yeah.
Send your nudes
to Trev.
Oh, man.
Oh. All right, then. Fishing and foraging fun. Blooper. I didn't really prepare anything, but I guess I can go off the seat of my brow here.
Yeah. I don't know what that means because I'm Mexican, but wing it.
All right. So I guess what's going on is what I've always been saying. I mean, things are definitely drumming up to be a better fishing season. A little bit slow start with all the colder water. The water's warming up. The fish are moving in. A lot of offshore bites, tuna, sharks, mahis, so on and so forth, all moving in off the coast. Also for inshore, there's tons and tons of keepers. Sea bass. Sea bass has just opened June 23rd in New York. Rhode Island is open for sea bass. Connecticut is open for sea bass. So now it's time to hammer down on those. Fluke fishing has gone through the roof in the past week or so. Tons of keepers to be around. Got to weed through the shorts. Stripers have been off the chain. Multiple reports of fish up to 60 pounds. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York. So things are really heating up. And bow fishing, as always, these guys are just hammering them down every single night. Hammer. So I guess get out there and make the report. Don't read the report.
Hell yeah. Be the report. Get yourself outdoors. Get your fishing license, all waters. Even if you don't hunt. Even if you don't fish all waters, make sure you get your all waters license so this way you contribute to conservation. And it's a small price to pay for bigger results. Because, again, I'll reiterate, even if you're a hater, and you hate this podcast, guess what? You must be listening because you love conservation.
That's
well,
it.
get out there and hate against us by contributing towards conservation.
And to go along with that, guys, get out there, get your cameras in the woods, practice your climbs if you guys are going to saddle hunting, because I know that's a huge thing for a lot of listeners. Even practice with a climber. Practice safety while getting your tree stands up, and get out there, have fun, and learn a ton.
And wear protection. Again, we give out free tree stand safety harnesses.
Yes, that's right. Free tree stand harnesses.
So reach out to either me, Ryan, or East Coast Trev and give us your information, and we'll ship one out to you free.
Yeah, if you know somebody, send them our way. We'd love to get a tree stand safety harness out to them.
And the only thing you pay is, it's not totally free. The only thing you pay is a 5-star written review on whatever platform you listen to us, and we're all over.
And give us a like on our platforms on social media.
Yeah. You know, we're spreading the love.
That's it, baby.
You know what? And
tell a friend.
Yeah, we love the haters too.
That's it.
We love you. So let's get Chase on the phone. Rubline Marketing.
We didn't even say that we were going to talk to Chase.
I did in the beginning a little bit. I did it again. And then we have our, pre-intro. We'll talk about it a little bit more.
All right. Let's talk about it.
You know what?
Chase.
Get him on the line.
Let's go.
They don't want me to have nothing. Huh. Fuck them! Quick squad! They say I'm stuck up. Nah, I got some jingle in my Wranglers, but the only people saying that to me are just some strangers. Yeah, you wasn't with me in that Ranger posted in the front. Y'all, you wasn't hanging with me when I was broken on that rooster fall. You wasn't fucking with me when my Ford was done with rattle cam. Bitch, I'm still the same. You know what the deal is.
All right, so we're back on the line with Chase Rohlfsen from Rubline Marketing. Welcome to the show, Chase. Thank you for giving us your time, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Hell yeah! I mean, shit. I know you're always a busy fella, and you're always streamlining, and you get your fingers dipped into everything, especially hunting industry. So, I mean, it's pretty cool that you just take the time of day. I mean, you're someone. If I have to contact someone else to schedule you in.
Oh man, you're gonna throw that out there right at the beginning of the podcast. I had you schedule it through my assistant, didn't I?
It's all good though. Hey, you reached out straight to me. You're like, you know what? I don't know what my schedule is exactly. Just hit up my assistant. I'm like, all right, this dude is for real. Oh man.
You know what? I will give a shout out to Tina. She is Tina in our office. She is my savior. She is my right hand. She literally is the keeper of my schedule. And I got my butt chewed actually this was just a couple days ago. I was so busy, and I was on conference calls and back to back, and I popped my head out and I was like, Tina, can you let my wife know, like, I'm not going to be home tonight. I got to travel. And so, she let my wife know that I wasn't going to make it home from the meeting. And so literally, like, I got home from that week of travel, and my wife looks at me and she's like, don't you ever have your assistant call me and say, you've got to stay over for another meeting. She's like, you pick up the phone and you tell me that. And I was like, ooh, yeah, that was not the smartest thing to do. Okay, lesson learned. So sometimes I probably use, like, too much to try to organize my life. There's some things you better do yourself, especially when it involves your wife.
Hey, man, that's good. That's a good, you know what? We haven't gotten there yet, but that's a good ninja tip because I'm about to be married in August, so I got to keep that in mind.
Let me tell you this, that the old saying of happy wife, happy life, it is very true, my friend. Make sure you remember that.
Word up, man. So let's kick it off right for all our new listeners. Listen to the show for the first time. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and where we can find you.
I think you guys are crazy. You want some marketing guy from Iowa on the show when there's so many amazing choices, but I'm humbled and I appreciate it. So I'm an Iowa boy, grew up here my whole life. Worked for General Motors, ran a lot of their marketing departments, started in sales and did a lot of their marketing initiatives. And, frankly, I lost my job with about 3,800 of my closest coworkers in 2008 when the crash hit. And I was sitting around going, dang, like, I have no job and nobody is going to hire in that type of profession in 2008 because everything was just crashing and burning.
That was the beginning of the recession, yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. And I should have backed the story up. In early 2000, I was very fortunate to I was buying land, and one of my neighbors, the piece of ground next to me had sold, and I found out it was Mark Drury who bought it. Now, just like most people, I mean, I didn't know Mark. I wasn't in the hunting industry. I worked for General Motors, and my phone rang one day, and it was Mark Drury, and he's like, "Hey, man, I just bought, and I'm trying to introduce myself to my neighbors." So I was kind of like, dang, this is the guy like I used to watch on DVDs, right?
Yeah.
So that was cool, and we became friends over the years, and we would talk a ton of strategy, marketing of what we were doing at GM, marketing and the things that they were doing very progressively at Drury Outdoors. So Mark was actually one of my first calls, and I was like, dang, man, I lost my job. And he said, you should do this in the outdoor industry. I'm like, what? Like, is it really that big of a business? And he's like, yeah. And he says, the thing is you have the experience, like you can walk in and actually do really well because most of the companies in the outdoor industry are a lot smaller than what you were dealing with for initiatives at GM. So you can take all that experience and, do a lot of good here and come up with a lot of great campaigns. And so, it's one of those things. Maybe it was a good idea, maybe it wasn't, but when you ain't got a job, it sounds like a pretty good idea.
Hell yeah, and then it makes your job that much easier because, I mean, you're pushing undeveloped land is what you're targeting, right?
Yeah. And really back in 2008, I mean, there were marketing companies, but I wouldn't say there was a lot of true, very niche organizations like what we created. So anyway, that's where Rubline Marketing came from. I was sitting there trying to think of a name, and of course, being in Iowa, we have a lot of big deer that make the rub lines, and I always knew that that was kind of a show of dominance, and they were marking their territory, and so
stop bragging.
That's where the name came.
Stop bragging.
and I love to hunt whitetails, and and I was actually, let's see, 2008. So I wasn't even that deep into hunting. I probably only hunted for 12 years at that point. So for me, I came into it from wow, this is going to be a fun business opportunity. And, my passion continued to grow and grow. And, so it's been fun, man. Yeah. I guess that's my, try to wrap it into a 6-minute, intro of who I am.
Hell yeah. Hey, this one's for you. You know us.
Nice. Nice. And I already spoiled it because we were talking just a little bit ago before you guys hit record, and I already spoiled the surprise. I have a Crown and Sprite right now, so I'm cheersing with you.
Hell yeah. So classy, Chase. So classy.
That's right. Well, when you break the 40 mark, believe me, beer is a lot harder to take. I'll usually enjoy a beer or two, but the older you get, the less you enjoy beer and the more you enjoy a fine cocktail.
You know what? I can agree to that too. I can, I'm getting there. I got grays on my chin and I'm not far away from you. So this way, when I'm sipping on something, I'm sure you've heard in the past, I got the Elijah on standby, Elijah Craig. So
that's all right. I like it.
Straight bourbon for this Mexican cowboy.
I like it.
So you were saying off the air that you went and grabbed a quick Mexican bite. What is your go-to for restaurants typically? Just to kind of get to know you a little bit more.
You know what, man? I'm an equal opportunity eater. So I travel a tremendous amount, and so does my team. I mean, Rubline's comprised of an unbelievable team.
Shout out to Big Mike, too.
Yeah, you know what? Brian runs our digital market. He is, we call him the Jedi. I mean, he is a phenomenal just guru when it comes to everything digital. If you ever feel like, oh, my God, I was just talking about getting new tires on my truck, why are there new tires? Why is there a tire company showing up on my Google feed? Well, guys like Brian make that happen, right? And, we've got a phenomenal production department with Bo and Keegan, and they're actually on the road right now. They're coming back from Cleveland doing a rhino blind shoot for those guys down there. Mark is our art director. I was bragging up Tina before. Chad is actually down in our North Carolina. We've got an office in Charlotte, North Carolina, an office in Traer, Iowa, and an office in Cresco, Iowa.
Oh, that's dope.
And yeah, so Chad he's always on the road. He's actually going to be flying back to the Charlotte office tomorrow. And so anyway, back to the food, you become an equal opportunity eater because when you travel that much, you have to try to have some fun with it. So if I'm in Boston, I've got to find the best clam chowder place. When I'm in Philly, obviously, you know, I'm down on 6th Street and I'm looking for the best Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't as much anymore. I used to spend a ton of time up in your guys' neck of the woods from Jersey to PA to New York, Connecticut. This last summer, I was up in New Hampshire with the guys from Thermoset. Like, I love the East Coast. Like, huge shout out to the East Coast. It's so pretty up there. Everybody thinks like, oh, Iowa, it's like the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, no, if you go to parts of the East Coast, it's like the middle of nowhere because all you see is these huge forests. Yeah. I don't know how you guys kill deer. I'll be honest with you. Like, I do not think I would be a very good deer hunter in the East Coast because we have big open fields, like just miles and miles open fields, and then one big timber draw. It's like, how do you hunt them? Oh, you go to the timber draw because it's the only place the deer are going to walk.
You know what? It's a lot of topography studying and a lot of training to hunt mountain goats, basically.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got some good friends that have been doing a TV show for a few years, and they're out in Virginia. And when they wanted to start this 5 years ago, I told them, "You're crazy. Why in the hell would you ever want to start a TV show in today's world?" And they were super passionate about it, and they sent me their first episode to review, and I mean, they killed like 120-inch, they called it the mountain buck.
Right.
And I was so glued to watching that first episode. And they're like, really? You love it that much? And I'm like, man, I said, there's so many shows. It's like, oh, we're hunting deer in Iowa. We're sitting in the tree stand. And like, I watched these guys like canoe, right, down the stream to get to this spot and have to hike up this ridiculous mountain. And how they patterned this deer, but they knew the deer they wanted to kill. And I found it just such a fascinating episode that you guys up on the East Coast may not get the notoriety of killing 190, 180-inch deer, but mucho credit for the fact that you're killing mature deer, regardless of the size of the antlers. You're killing deer in a very, very difficult part of the world to kill deer in.
We appreciate that, man, because that's part of our very small part of our mission. Is we're more targeted, obviously, for conservation and being an educational platform and making it fun in doing so. But that's definitely a recognition that's kind of far and lost, and that's why we try to stick to East Coast influences as far as guests. But we do like to dabble out towards Midwest to kind of reel them in to show them and enlighten the East Coast on Midwest tactics. Because, I mean, quite honestly, I think this is a perfect segue. You talking traveling and all, and you have a strong Midwest influence, and you travel the world. I think we should segue into your New Zealand trip, man, because that was impressive, man. That was impressive.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable experience. I mean, I feel very fortunate that, I was finally at a point in my life where I could afford to go. Cause that's the first thing is like New Zealand's it's expensive to do that hunt and it's expensive to fly there. And it's just like, everything was just expensive. But I knew when I first picked up a weapon to go hunting, you would hear these stories of New Zealand. And so it was kind of a bucket, like it was, I guess, my bucket list thing. And I've had a few things that once I turned 40 that I just put on a list, and it sounds a little cliche or corny, but that's what I did. I always wanted a Jeep Wrangler, right? Because they're completely worthless in most situations. So, they're not a great daily driver, but I said, to heck with it. Like when I turned 40, I'm getting a Wrangler, and I did that. And then I wanted to always kill a velvet mule deer with a bow, and I figured out an outfitter. And as a process, you had to acquire a landowner tag and basically pay the landowner to transfer his tag over. And but I figured that whole process out, and I went and did it. And then there was two other things on the list, which was New Zealand was with a very, very good friend of mine who runs Scent Crusher. He owns the brand Scent Crusher. And he and I were at an NRA auction dinner. And so the hunt came up. It sold for like $8,000. 2 people, $8,000. 2 people, 2 stags.
Wow.
Now, I looked at that and I'm like, $4,000 plus a plane ticket, right? I am never, ever going to have the opportunity to go hunt New Zealand for, I think I had like $6,500 on the trip, which is still a lot. Like I was still choking, but I'm like, there's no way I'll be able to ever afford this again or have the opportunity to do this again. So I just did it. So he and I bought the trip together. A month before the trip, he had to bail. He had a work project come up. There's some really big things going on at Scent Crusher, and he's like, I've got to stay focused on this. He's like, let's just put it off till next year. So we were like, all right, we'll put it off till next year. I was all depressed. I really wanted to go over there. And literally like 4 days before we were supposed to leave, I just said, to hell with it. I picked up the phone. I called the outfitter. I said, hey, can I still come this year? I said, I cannot wait till next year. I'll come back if I have to with my buddy, but I'm not waiting. And he's like, bring it, man. He's like, bring it. So that's what I did. I literally jumped in an airplane, was not prepared, flew over there, hiked my ever-living butt off up and down mountains, just got my butt handed to me. My knees felt like they had grapefruits around them. And I killed well over 400-inch stag. I'll just say that.
Hell yeah!
Wow,
that's awesome. Man. Can you take us
unreal.
Can you take us a little bit through that process a bit through the hunt itself?
So New Zealand is very diverse, and you could be 80 years old and not in the best health and still have the opportunity to harvest a stag because there's a lot of low-lying farm ground and a tremendous amount of New Zealand is high fenced because the deer there are very protected. Not high fenced in the sense of what we're used to in the States. So I have to clarify that. So for the listeners, they're like, whoa, wait a minute, New Zealand's high fenced. The technical answer is absolutely it is. And if somebody says different, they're lying.
They're just well managed.
It's all managed. And that's because that is the second largest commodity in New Zealand. The first largest is farm-raised deer, which is very different. They're a huge exporter of venison all over the world. So a lot of times when you go to a restaurant and they say they have venison burger, that's actually red deer venison that came from New Zealand.
Oh,
so
no shit.
To them, yes. So New Zealand their red deer are like our cattle. We export beef, they export venison.
Wow.
You're not allowed to hunt those. They are truly like livestock, and they're in livestock areas. Well, then the wild deer, they are still somewhat fenced, but I'll tell you, so the property I went to consisted of I would say 3 mountains-ish, and red deer are only going to go to a certain elevation. So you've got 3 mountains all hooked together, and then on the one side is a lake. So was there a physical chain link fence? No. But those deer were brought to that mountain, and unless some deer got a crazy thought that he could go swim a lake, they can't leave. So I truly was probably hunting what in the U.S. we would consider, a non-fair chase animal, because the animal couldn't just run and run and run to the next county. It was pretty much stuck between these 3 mountain ranges. But holy crap, do you work your butt off for it? We would get to the bottom of the mountain, get glass on one. You got to go to the backside of the mountain to beat the wind, climb up the halfway, the mountain, cut across, cut down so you can get a shot at them. And the vegetation's thick, and there was a couple spot and stalks that, one we sat on for 6 hours. Took us 3 hours to get to the spot where we could get a shot. Sat for 6, and the deer never got out of his bed to present a shot. And I kept saying, well, 10 more minutes. And finally my guide looked at me and he goes, we cannot physically get down from this mountain in the dark. We have to bail. We'll have to try it again tomorrow. And so it's a very different hunt. I was super glad I did it. I was, wanted to be very honest when I got home, what I learned about how red deer are over there or stags are over there. And I still would say it's the trip of a lifetime. And if you ever get a chance to do it, you'll never see more beauty And I don't know if it's better than an elk roar, but it's pretty damn close to like their roar is unbelievable. Just like what you know, if you've ever gone elk hunting, it's just like that. It gets in your bones.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. And how'd you take that animal?
So, I had built a custom rifle that I wanted to take over there. Unfortunately, the timing of my trip was not far after the Christchurch shooting, the massacre at Christchurch.
Man, yeah, okay.
And so the government really locked things down. So I literally could not fly in with a weapon. I didn't really have a desire to kill one with a bow. I've gotten into almost every animal I've ever killed is with a bow. And in Iowa, we're not allowed to shoot rifles. I mean, unless you're coyote hunting or something. So I took the opportunity. I was like, I'm going to try to hunt with a rifle because it's something I don't get to do. And so I had to borrow the outfitter's rifle, go through the whole process of shooting it, getting comfortable with it. And a little bit of time, I was comfortable with it, and I shot with a borrowed rifle.
That's awesome. And
yeah,
I would imagine you had that mounted, yeah?
Yeah, it's quite a process. So it'll probably be 6 months before it ever comes back to the States.
I could imagine, man. And this is a perfect segue to transition into what you're going to get into later this weekend, because Trev and I, along with a few of our supporters and maybe even some people from the Pursuit channel, and hopefully our boy Modern Assassin, we're working on an Africa hunt. We're shooting for 2020. If everything falls into place, we're going to be exposing a very close to us outfit. Trev, you want to kind of touch on that a bit?
So the outfitter is Western Safaris in South Africa. They have a camp in Zim, and they also has one in Mozambique, and it's close to 3 million acres, and it's one of...
But maybe, I want to say 500... half a mill's managed,
correct,
for anti-poachers and stuff like that.
But it's not. It's probably one of. It's one of many that aren't high fence.
Yeah.
So it's all free range.
Yeah, that's really rare over there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they've been going on probably. I think they're on the 4th generation.
Yeah. So they've been around forever.
And it's been a huge thing. But now they're targeting more towards archery hunters. Especially now with there being the pass on the Cape Buffalo being able to be taken with archery. So we're hoping to be one of the first groups to go over there and do some archery hunting there in South Africa.
For that
I'm
outfitter.
flying over Saturday.
Hell yeah. That's why I bring this up. So, I mean, how you feeling about that, man? You must be pumped.
Yeah. You know, I'm pumped. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. So the story is I made a deal with my kids. So I have a 16-year-old son, a 16-year-old daughter, and then my wife and I had a little bit of a whoopsie, and I am hanging out right now with my 8-month-old daughter. So we got a little bit of gap there.
That's a good whoopsie, though.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, best thing that ever happened to me. So anyway, I made this deal when my kids were young, and I just said, you know, if you get through school, you're not in any trouble, you're getting 3.8 GPAs and above. Like, I set the bar pretty high. I was like, I'll take you on your dream hunt. Well, my son, you know, of course, since he was super tiny, he was just like, he was all into it. And so when he turned 16, his dream hunt was to kill a bear with his bow. And he wanted to go to Saskatchewan where the bears are big. So we did that, and he harvested about a 400-pound bear. Second day we were there, we had a blast together. I was able to shoot a nice bear too, and great father-son hunt. Well, my daughter hunts, but I always kind of joke that she's kind of the fair weather hunter. She loves to hunt, but it's not like if it's 20 below and she springs up out of bed and is like, oh my gosh, the weather conditions are awesome, let's go hunting, Dad. No, she's like, hey, I love youth season because it's in September, so it's like the weather's nice.
Yeah.
So I really didn't know. I tasked her with, you know, hey, remember, okay, she's 4.0 student, amazing athlete, great kid. And I was like, don't forget, like, you're turning 16 in July. What are we going to do for your dream hunt this fall? And so anyway, it was about May, I think, April or May this year. She says, Dad, let's go out to eat. I want to talk to you about my hunt. Okay. So we went, and daddy-daughter date night, and we had a great time. And I said, all right, I'm dying to hear where are we going this fall? And she's like, we're going to go this summer. I'm thinking, okay, she must be thinking axis deer, right?
Yeah.
No. She drops it on me. She's like, we're going to Africa. And I'm like, oh, girl, you definitely know how to spend. You know how to spend daddy's money.
That's awesome.
So for a guy who never leaves Iowa to hunt, I get enough travel on the business side. You know, I don't travel to hunt. You know, I'm a whitetail guy from Iowa, and you say, man, I got a great elk hunt, you know, in November. I'm going to be like, are you crazy? Like, November's our rut. See you later. I'm staying home.
Yeah.
So for a guy that never traveled to hunt, I will have been in New Zealand and Africa all within 6 months of each other.
Wow. Talk about living the life, man. That's awesome. And you know what? That's great. I'm sorry to interrupt, Jeff, but that's really great parenting skills. In the fact that you are actually capable of providing that is freaking awesome. And then on top of that, I mean, you're obviously doing something right. Your kids are doing great in school. They're you know, good role models. And then on top of that, yeah, I mean, even just right now, hearing the baby rattle and you're on the show with us hooligans, it's like, dude, perfect role model to the up and coming father, or even the father that needs to change his ways. Is like, we definitely tip our hats to you, brother.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of the credit goes to my wife. She there's stuff all over our house. You know, the kids and their hunting. My wife hunts too, when she can, when she's not, you know, being a mom, and she's always the one that's willing to take a back seat. But she's actually killed. She's got a 79-inch antelope, and she's got a huge. She actually takes the record for the oldest buck we've ever harvested on our farm. She shot a 9.5-year-old 7-pointer that would legitimately scare you. Like, we're talking 14-inch tines on a 7-pointer.
Damn.
Crazy big. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So the credit really does go to her. I might spearhead it, but she's the ultimate supporter. She, you know, there's little things all over her house. The kids is hunting expeditions, and it's like a family that hunts together, stays together. And, you know, we've done a lot of Christmas vacations where literally we pack up the family and we go down and we sit in deer camp for a week, and everybody goes hunting. And that's our Christmas vacation, where some people go to Florida. You know, we spend a lot of times in deer camp.
That's, you know what?
That's awesome.
I love that. That's actually something I'm building right now. And, you know, I have a 8-year-old son, and he's all about it, man. He comes with me on scouts. He hunts with me. I mean, he can't take anything until he's 12 years old, which is a bunch of bullshit in Connecticut. But
it is. That's a crap rule.
It is. But you know what? I have him shoot. He knows how to shoot a 22. He has his own high-powered pellet gun, and he shoots a bow. I trained him on a long bow first, and he just graduated to compound. So he's eager beaver for sure, without a doubt. Every time.
I'll tell you what, I will say this for all the dads out there with kids that age. And here's the thing, it is not my advice. Like, I got this advice from Mark Drury, so take it for the source, right? A man that has been there and done it all, and raised a killer. I mean, Taylor she's a straight up killer. And he gave me advice when I was, you know, I had young ones, and he said, it's going to kill you. You're going to blow deer. Start taking them out, even if it's only 30, 45 minutes before dark. But he's like, do not let them get bored. Let them see a lot of animals. And if it's in the morning and they don't feel like getting up, don't get mad. It might blow your hunt, but don't force them. Just let them come into it in their own, not because you want them to so badly. Your job is to expose them to it gently and the right way. And if they take to it, great. If they don't push them, because you will drive them away.
Hell yeah. Amen to that. We had Jessica Byers from Follow Your Arrow, and that was one of our topics that she laid down the knowledge and just that, and how she got into it, is fathers don't push your daughters. And it goes the same for your sons too, you know, because your son may and it's perfectly okay. He may be extra sensitive to taking a life or even the thought of taking a life. Is don't push your son. Is just, like you just said, influence. Open the door. Get them into it gently. That's perfect, man. Perfect daddy advice.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
So I got to ask, what are you guys going to take over in South Africa? I got to ask.
Oh, she's got a list. Like, so I know you had said one of the things you guys focused on is conservation. Very, very cool situation that we were able to jump on board with. We were actually harvesting 15 animals while we were there.
Oh, wow.
And I won't give away all the goods, but I'll tell you it's less than what the New Zealand trip was. Okay. But here's the deal. So in this area that they're at, they have got a tremendous, they have too many animals, and they're going to end up dealing with disease and starvation and things like that. So they offered up basically a cull hunt. Yep. And so she's going to take a couple trophies. She'll take a trophy kudu, a trophy impala, and there's a couple others on there. But one of the main jobs that we're there to do is from a conservation standpoint, and that is to thin the herd. So the reason we're taking so many animals, 15 animals in a 10-day period, is they need the help. And one of the best ways to do that is, A, bring a little bit of income into the camp, 2, have a young female like my daughter, and then the gentleman I was telling you about earlier, Dan Drake with Scent Crusher, he and his daughter are coming over as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's not bailing on me on this trip like he did New Zealand. He's coming on this one, and he's
calling him out.
Yeah. So it's going to be awesome because between us, we're going to take about 30 animals off of this, this huge ranch that they have, and they're set out to, the broken horns, the older animals, the weaker ones. They've got to practice conservation over there too, just like we do here.
That's great.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, and people don't understand what actually goes into the management of that over there. I know that, like, say, for example, like here they're trying to pass a law which actually got knocked down recently on the Big Six, no importation of the Big Six into Connecticut. And people don't understand what actually goes into that and how the money goes towards like conservation over there and how much they need the American hunters to go over there and cull those animals, and that it goes to the tribes and the money goes to the government, and that there is so many animals over there that they need us to go there.
You're absolutely right. I mean, those villages rely on the American and the European outdoorsmen to come over there, spend their money, and here's the thing, like, donate the meat. When you harvest an animal over there, I spent a lot of time talking to the outfitter, so I can't say I'm an expert because I've never been, but you do learn a lot as you're talking with the outfitter and people that have gone there. They say, you harvest an animal and it's great. You get to have the back straps off the kudu right there in camp, and all that's a wonderful experience. But the other part of it is the rest of that meat, it does not go to waste. It's feeding villages that are extremely poor, don't have an economic structure, and they frankly rely on it.
100%. 100%. And that's another thing. I mean, talk about the villages and so on and so forth is like the anti-poaching programs, like with Western Safaris. Like if you get caught as a poacher, then you become an indentured servant for Western Safaris, and your families get food, shelter, and education. So your kids actually get to go educated, and they get paid like a daily, and they have food and shelter from Western Safaris. And a lot of other outfitters do that same exact thing, but people don't understand that. And like the Americans, a lot of the people that are voting against a lot of these laws, they don't understand what actually goes into the South African lifestyle.
And
you're absolutely right.
Even to touch on that, the fact that they allowed the Cape Buffalo back, it's pretty cool that, I mean, to take down a Cape Buffalo with a bow, you have to shoot, 600 grains or above,
600.
right? Yeah. Which is pretty insane, man, because 600 grains on your arrow, I know I'm shooting heavy this year. I mean, the way we've been shooting, Trev, is they're knocking down targets.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I believe it.
It's crazy.
It's pretty cool. So you guys will have fun. I wish the best of luck to you guys. That'll be an awesome hunt, and can't wait to see the outcome.
Yeah, I'm stoked for you guys.
You.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope for sure.
Well, it's always fun too when we do get to go out and we're a marketing company and we get to see some of the coolest products come across our desk and one of the ways, I mean, this is how a lot of the campaigns get started is we use those products. I mean, Victory arrows, guess what? I mean, I'm shooting deer with my Victory arrows and I'm sitting there thinking like, wow, how does this apply to me as a real hunter? Like, how can I put that into a medium that the consumer that's like me is going to relate? And so when you get to take trips like that and you get to use, I had so much fun. I built a, everybody wants to, have their, and I'm not knocking this, but some guys want to have these like $5,000 rifles, $10,000 rifles. Well, that's not my style. I literally went out and bought I think it was $400 for a Ruger American. I put it on a Boyd's at one thumb hole gun stock and, put a nice, just a decent run of the mill, kind of middle of the road Vortex optic on the top of it. And like, I'm going over there with something that literally looks like a $5,000 rifle. And I might have, I don't know, $1,300 in it.
That's badass. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's been part of the fun is building this rifle. I built up several different bows and played around with different arrows. So that's always a lot of fun because we get to put the equipment to use that we're going out there and building campaigns and strategies around. And yeah, I mean, I don't have put it this way, nobody should shed a tear because I have to go to work every day in the morning. Like it's awesome that I wake up and that's what I get to go do for a job.
Hell yeah.
I'm a little jealous.
I've seen you with your big old welding mask and stuff, but I'm not feeling sorry for you because I see your two-wheel toys that you got too.
Word up. You know what? I was just going to touch on it. It's like, don't feel so bad, Trevin. Don't get jealous because you know what? It's an honor that at Iowa. And let this be known, and I'm putting you on blast. I'm sorry, Chase. When I ran into you is, oh yeah. I listened to your episode while I was taking a shower. I was like, so we're kind of intimate then.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, you were asking like, hey, did you catch that? I was like, actually, it's funny you asked that. I've got one of those little Bluetooth speaker deals, and that's kind of my morning routine. Is I listen to podcasts in the morning. It's fun. It gets me, kind of jacked up, and I like laughing. I mean, I do. There's not very many podcasts I listen to. I'll say this, there's about 2 or 3 in archery that I listen to, and there's about 2 or 3 or so in guns that I listen to. And they all are really themed around the same thing. And they're guys that are actually willing to have a little bit of fun because frankly, I don't need to sit there and be listening to an encyclopedia. If I want that, I'll just type it into Google.
Amen. Exactly.
That's what YouTube's for.
Yep. I mean, so you guys are doing a bang out job. You're fun to listen to, and I can tell you love what you do.
We really appreciate that, man.
Thank you.
For sure. So let's take a hard left turn and get into just so the everyday man can kind of relate to you a little bit more is your skateboarding. Yeah, because it's cool because you're just like us, or actually we should say we're just like you because we follow suit.
Yeah, because I'm older. That's why. I'm older.
I was trying not to go there, but since you went there, but yeah, so it was cool to see a video post.
You're talking about that Facebook video that made its way around, aren't you?
Yeah, well, you know what I'm referring to specifically is cool how you can still get down on your skateboard. And
oh yes.
Yeah, right in your garage and you're showing everyone in slow motion how to perform an ollie.
At 40 something years old, right?
That's what I'm saying. And you did it like nothing. You walked away like you dropped the mic. I was like, my bro. For the sake of what I really want to say, I'll say my bro.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I had an interesting childhood. I'll say that. I was a thrasher. I mean, I was the kid reading Thrasher magazine, and that was who I was. I didn't hunt. I grew up in the city, and So that's what you did, is you skated, and I chose to go down a road where, like, skating was my life. It wasn't just a hobby. I did it every second of the day, and I didn't get, like, I would say pro good, but I got pretty good. And when I was about 14-ish, I got a chance to hook up with Tony Hawk and, the Birdhouse crew and all those guys, which for any of your listeners that are ex-skaters, they'll know what I'm talking about. But Tony Hawk was a big deal. He definitely had graced the cover several times of Thrasher magazine, but he wasn't the Tony Hawk that people know today. X Games and, first guy to do a 900 and all that. He was just a damn good pro skater. Well, I was trying so hard to master dropping in on a half pipe. And of course I'm crapping my pants because everything we had in Iowa was mini halves. Well, he took the time with me and spent, several hours with me on the half pipe. And so I always say that was my biggest claim to fame, is that, I got taught how to drop in on a half pipe by Tony Hawk. And I don't know that there's all that many people that can say that. So I'm still alive to tell the story.
Hell yeah.
Dude, it's pretty amazing how you know what? Not to get all religious and shit, but God does look out for the good people. I do strongly believe that, and he prays for the people that need it most. And it just seems like that he just paid closer attention to your life, to be running into Mark Drury, calling you up, and then Tony Hawk spent a couple hours with you. It's like, bro, that's how you know you're doing something right. You know what I mean?
Man, I definitely, I'm glad you say that, because I do. I feel very, very lucky and blessed. And I've had a tremendous amount of amazing things come my way. And a lot of it, too, though, is, you got to be not afraid to open your eyes when God hands you something. You need to make sure your eyes are open so you can grab onto it and don't always live your life as a skeptic. Like 99% of the people in this world are good people. 99%. 1% are evil as hell.
Oh, yeah.
But it's easy to see the 1%. It's easy to latch onto that and think that people are bad. 99% of the people on this earth are really, really good people. And when you get to interact with them and you get to understand their story and you get to hear their stories, I mean, dang, it's like the world's an amazing place.
Hell yeah. And just for the record for our listeners, Chase does like to loosen up a bit, and he's being respectful to his youngins because he is at home. So you will hear the dang and the shucks. So for the record.
Yeah, that's right. For the record, I'll tell you, yeah. So you've seen me at some of my primes. I mean, I might be knocking, I'm about 30 days away from being 43, but I will promise you I can still get down and party.
Oh, hell yeah. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Anybody that's hung out with me at SHOT Show, I'm pretty calm at ATA because we run a big media room there. But at SHOT Show, it's pretty relaxed for me, believe it or not. And those of you guys that have ever seen me at SHOT Show, you'd be like, is that the same guy? Like, is he on top trying to spin on the roulette wheel, or what is he doing?
Chase, that's not a stripper pole. Stop.
Right. Put your clothes back on, dude. Yeah.
She even
like, I'm using that against you later, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. She knows what's up. See, that's your kid. You know that.
we may or may not have bribed a couple cabbies in Vegas to race each other. I mean, we have done some crazy stuff. And again, that's why I love the industry so much, is when you go to the trade shows, it is like your extended family, and you might only see them once a year. But man, you make up for lost time when you're there.
You know what? I couldn't agree most, because this year we hit the trade shows hard this year, and it was just so cool to it seemed like every trade show we were just hanging out with the same people, and it's cool to see the outside people looking in and be like, these guys, they roll together, and that's how it should be, though, because everyone's got their niche and their family, and the best part about it, though, is the fact that we did that is everyone on the outside approached us like they already knew us, because we are approachable and we encourage everyone to do so. So that was pretty cool.
My 19-year-old came to ATA for the first time this year. He's worked for us since he was 16. now he's in college. He is one of our main editors. He's phenomenal as far as video production. So a lot of the stuff that you'll see through our companies that are hitting the social media stuff, the video commercials, the storylines, that's all done by him. And so I thought he was kind of ready for ATA this year. And man, we got there, and at the end of it, I said, well, what'd you think your first ATA? And it's like, is every one of them like that? I'm like, yeah, pretty much every trade show. I said, why? Like, what's wrong? He says, man, I've never worked so hard, partied so hard, and got so little sleep in my entire life. And this is a kid from college.
Oh, yeah. And that's the life, though. People don't really get it.
Yeah, he's like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, but I said, son, you build up a tolerance for it. And I said, you know what? When those show doors open at 8 a.m., you are there. You are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you work. And you work till 8 o'clock at night. You finish that last dinner meeting. And then it's cocktail hour. And then maybe if you're lucky, you're getting to bed about 1, 2 in the morning. And you are back up at 6:30 in the morning in the shower getting ready for the next day.
You know what? You're 100 on that. I'm glad you touched on that, because anyone that's maybe even dabbling the thought on getting into this realm, it is the best time of your life. But man, is it hard work. Man, is it the hard work. Oh, man. It's crazy. But it's an addiction too, man. Who needs drugs when you have that? For sure.
You know what? That's exactly right. I mean, if you wake up and you truly, truly love what you do, then it is easy to make it to work, no matter how much sleep you've had.
Amen, brother. Amen. So I need to get a little serious because I have you on the line. And
oh boy.
Yeah, and we had to schedule this, so I mean, I'm going to take full advantage. And take a little sip of your cocktail. Because,
I did. Yeah,
good,
I did.
good.
I was like, we're getting serious now.
Yeah,
I might have to refill.
We've been known to refill here. So, on a serious note, man. So, obviously, you know our title sponsor is Working Class Bowhunter.
My boys.
Yeah, you guys are very, very close. And just out of respect, Trev and I made sure to, not that we have to ask permission, but out of respect, just be like, yo, is it cool if we get Chase on the line? And even my words to you is like, if it's cool with Kurt and the boys, I'd like to have you on the show because you have a lot to contribute. Again, daddy advice, hunting tips, and then the marketing aspect. Like, there's a lot of listeners that want to get into the field and the marketing field, and you drop some knowledge on that too. So that being said, man, let's go back on this serious question. Is you and Kurt have something very, very similar interests and in common that kind of brought you guys together, right?
Oh, gosh, you're going to make me think back. What would it have been?
Well, I have the answer for you, man.
Okay.
I have the answer.
Is this about the prank? Is this the prank call I gave him?
No, this is, well, maybe, I don't know. It's, you and Kurt are big advocates for Lover for Likes.
This is about the prank call. Oh, boy. Yeah.
Did I get you a bit?
Yeah.
Did I get you a bit?
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Poor Kurt. Like, man, I will say I did him a solid. Like, he was stumped. He didn't know me at all. And I was driving down the road listening to his podcast, and I had access to somebody who had his number. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get this guy. In the episode I was listening to, he was telling a story. I don't remember who the gal was, but it was a Lover Likes girl or something like that. And she had snubbed him. They were like, hey, we'd love to, have you on our podcast or whatever. And then basically the response was like, who are you? I don't know you. And I don't talk to people I don't know, or something like that. So I just called him up, and I was like, hey man, like, I just listened to this podcast. And he was like, oh yeah. Like, he's probably wondering how I got his number. And I was like, that's my girlfriend you're talking about. Like, we need to have words. And he was like stumbling all over, and he's just like, sorry, bro, my bad. And so anyway, I finally let him off the hook, and yeah, it was love at first sight. We had a blast just BSing about it, and And we still bring it up every once in a while, if we're podcasting or whatever. I'm like, I got you, man. Like, I totally stumped you on that one. So it was it was good. It was good. So, yeah, and Kurt has become just truly one of my best friends. And I never get to see him other than, kind of like we were saying, the trade show thing. And he's not that far away. He's only a couple hours away. But, these type of podcasts, and Kurt really was, I would say, he was really the pioneer in the archery side of things and reaching the archery hunter with his style. And it's so cool to know that he's really influenced a lot of people, like with you guys starting your own podcast and really having your own style, but always remembering why you loved podcasting so much. It was because you got into this crazy, unorthodox, just style. And to bring it back to marketing, that's what marketers are looking for. I mean, you're looking for the guys that push the envelope. You're looking for the guys that, can run right up to the edge. Now, it's a fine line because you can't go over the edge. You go over the edge and your career's over.
Yep.
But the guys that know how to run at 100 miles an hour right up to the edge and not go over the cliff, that's the cutting edge of marketing. And that's reaching a consumer with solid messages. That's reaching the consumer with things that resonate with them. And you and I were talking offline that, the old school guys, and it's, some people might say that, hey, that's not right. That, maybe our kids don't know what Fred Bear did. Okay.
Right.
And some people might say like, oh, that's terrible. Well, listen, the kids that are out there playing baseball today, okay, they may not know Babe Ruth stats either. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
It's time.
They know Sammy Sosa stats and shit like that. Yep.
Mark McGwire.
That's right. I mean, you can't say, oh, hunting is not what it used to be because our kids don't follow Fred Bear's accomplishments, or even for that matter, they don't necessarily tune in the TV and watch Jim Shockey every day.
Yep.
Like, they're a different generation. And so if they love to hunt, if they're ethical hunters, and they consume their media, they consume their entertainment on things like podcast or YouTube, or maybe the guy's doing trick shots, right? But it's like, it's a cool YouTube video to watch and the guy's holding a bow and shooting an arrow. Well, then so be it. Like, it doesn't matter as long as they love the sport, they come up ethically. We just have to accept the fact that they consume their information differently.
Hell yeah, man. Well put, Chase. Well put. And I do have to say, man, I could listen to you talk all fucking night because you had that radio voice, bro. I'm telling you.
I hear that all the time. For some reason, I never got any modeling gigs. I'm not sure what the deal is.
Maybe, I mean, I do have to ask, your last name, is it German?
It is, yeah. So, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
I don't know how to respond, but I do understand what you said. I don't speak German, but I would love to learn. 9.
The good news is, I tell you what, I've been to Germany many, many times. My favorite trade show in the entire circuit is a show in Nuremberg, Germany, and it's called IWA. And I always call it, it's the cool shot show. And so I've been to Germany many times for work, and they have the most beautiful guns. They have the greatest beer. And I still don't speak any English or any German other than what I just told you, which is, do you speak German? 9, no. So that's the extent of it, man.
That's dope because one of our other sponsors is Hunter Demons, and in correlation to Germany, right? I was heavy in the music industry, like that was my life. And you'd be surprised how many musicians are involved with the outdoors. But what I'm getting at is with 100 Demons, there was a show in Germany, and one of the dudes, and this is, no one knows about this shit, so this is like exclusive content. We're going back to like probably around the recession time, maybe 2006, 2007, And we're there, and I see this German dude beating the crap out of his girl or wife or what have you. And one of my boys, I won't say who because I don't even know if this has been a case or whatever, but he's like, dude, if that motherfucker hits his girl one more time, I'm going to drop kick him. So, yeah. So, lo and behold, and we just finished show. We're all sweaty as balls. And we're just like out there, you know, having a good time and kind of recouping from the show. And sure enough, he hit him again. Or hit her again. So my boy just looked at me. And then he just took off. Ran across the street. All you see him is fly from the middle of the street. No lie. Middle of the street to the sidewalk. And a foot to face happened. And he just laid into him so much that his boy came out. I pulled him off. And his boy was like, Scheiße! 9! Which is like, oh shit, no. Right. Oh man, his girl was so grateful though, because
and then we found out it was Rammstein who was getting knocked out or something.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Now, right now, some of your listeners are like, "Who's Rammstein?" Like, I got to go look that up.
Yeah, straight up. But we do back to how we started on this conversation is Kurt Geyer, man, and the whole crew. You know, Eric Hammond and Stevie Mo.
Dude, yeah. Eric's awesome. Like, he's like the quiet, silent type.
Yeah,
and
man.
then all of a sudden he throws a zinger out there, and yeah, that whole crew is just a killer. I mean, phenomenal people, and they have such a cool thing going. And so I always love when they come out with a new podcast because I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what they break out next. And so yeah, like great, true, like they're the young influencers of our industry right now. And I think that's why we're seeing them take such huge leaps and bounds is they're pushing that edge, right? They are literally on that razor's edge, but never going over it. And that's a tribute to Kurt. Like, even we all know, like, if you listen to it, it's like Steve would jump right off the edge of the cliff.
Oh yeah. I think he's got a full body harness, right? He's got a full body harness.
Kurt and Eric, they really are that glue that they know how to ride that razor's edge and pull them back a little bit. And then, you know, and it's a fun dialogue back and forth with that group. And so, you know, huge shout out to those guys. They really are pioneers in it. It's fun to watch them grow. And, you know, I can say the same thing. There's some YouTube guys out there that, you know, if you do a little bit of searching, I mean, you can find some guys that are really the same way. I mean, one YouTuber who is he's so much fun to watch is the Demolition Ranch.
Oh, you know, okay. Yep. Familiar with that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know him at all. I've never spoken with the guy, but I love his content. And it's because he knows how to push that edge of just real, raw gun content. And he's fun to watch. And, you know, so I'm actually waiting for that YouTube guy to break out in archery that, you know, is really, really just fun and entertaining to watch. Because let's face it, I mean, we all want to be entertained. I mean, you just do. Like, that's why you go to the movies. It's you know, some people watch the Masters, you know, some people want to go and tailgate at a college football game. It's because we want to be entertained. And that's the secret. Like, if you figure out how to entertain people and you're in that profession of, let's say, show business, which, you know, whether you're a podcaster or whether you're a TV host or, you know, whether you're doing a radio show, it doesn't matter. You're kind of in show business. You're putting on a show for someone, your audience. And if you can figure out how to entertain and then add some education into it. So not only did they laugh or they were happy, but they learned something. Like, it's a secret recipe. And then all of a sudden, boom, you've got people craving more of it.
Man, you put it
That's marketing.
That's so perfectly placed and said that that's exactly what Trev and I are really experiencing now, being newbies to the world. And again, we give all our credit. I want to say like 90 to 95% of our credit to working class, because the hardest part, honestly, is us not being influenced by anyone else, because we had to learn from somewhere, right? And
yeah, you absolutely do. Everybody does.
Exactly. And we had a lot of help. Again, I definitely kneel to Working Class because they are the OGs of the hunting podcast. They did lay down this new path, and it made it easier segue to make it less daunting to us go in our adventure. And we have our place, East Coast. How often do you hear about East Coast? But nowadays, guess what? When you hear East Coast, you see Trev's face and my face. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you guys got the accent down.
Hell yeah.
Like, I was going to come on the show and be like, hey, so you want to have some coffee and talk about it or what? And see if you could figure out what state that was from.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So that brings us to our next segment, the Ninja Tip of the Day. Chase Rohlfsen, what do you got for our listeners? Ninja Tip of the Day. Anything good advice for the outdoors?
Man, some people are going to get offended by this, so I hope you guys are all right with that.
That's okay.
No.
All right.
Do it. This is the show to do it, so let's hear it.
Okay. Enjoy the kill. That's it. We can all talk conservation and management and, feeding thousands of deer with food plots to harvest one. And I do it too. I do it constantly. But enjoy the kill, because that is who you are. Like, that's what gets your heart going, is the fact that you're going to take an animal down and then you're going to process that animal and you're going to bring it to your plate. And then you're going to sit there and enjoy it with your family or your buddies or, your neighbors over a beer. But don't forget, like, it's okay to celebrate the fact that you just took down an animal, because that's who we are at our very core. And frankly, like, I think we've all got too snowflakey over the years. And it's like, oh, well, it's about nature and I love the sounds. Yeah, that's all. Of course we do. That's all fine and dandy. But I didn't wake up to be a hunter to say, I want to go out every day and listen to the damn birds chirp. Like, I can do that in my backyard.
Right.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
Yeah, I became a hunter because, you know what? Guess what? I like pulling the trigger, or I like releasing an arrow and seeing it smack 12 ring.
Hell yeah.
Now, if that ain't raw and real, I don't know what is.
Hey, man.
So I don't know if that's a ninja tip, because that was pretty, like, raw, but there's my tip, I guess.
I love it.
Enjoy the kill.
You know what? We might say this almost on every episode, but it's like just getting different perspectives. It seems like every episode I get my new favorite ninja tip. I mean, shit. We haven't heard that yet, is enjoy the kill. You know what? Quite honestly, why I love to hunt is because I get to kill shit.
That's it.
Legally and ethically, and feed my family.
That's right.
You know?
Exactly right. And you know what? If we keep going down this path of the snowflake, like, I will promise you, that 5-year-old little boy that you might want to take out there, if he legitimately thinks that is what hunting is you're going to go out and listen to the birds and watch the sunrise, that's all it is, he will become a bird watcher.
Amen. And there's nothing wrong with bird watchers if that's your thing. But you know what? If you're in my family or Chase's family, yeah. It's like a peeping Tom, right? No one likes a peeping Tom. Get in there and get in it.
Really? Are you watching birds in the park, or like, are you trying to, like, spy on the playground across the way? Like, okay, what's God. Your deal? Come on, I don't like bird watchers, man. They make me nervous. Like, something's weird about that.
What are you up to, MF?
Right,
what are you up to?
Like, put those $1,800 horse skis down. I know something's up over there. Okay, because you don't own a stitch of camo, so why do you have those binos?
Yeah.
To look at boners on woodpeckers.
Right. See, I knew you guys thought it was weird, too.
It is,
of course. No, I'm actually just joking. I don't have anything against bird watchers, because I don't know any, thank God.
Hey, as long as they buy that bird stamp, we'll be all right, you know?
That's right.
So, Chase, this is a little off subject. You got any hidden talents or anything that you're good at aside from skateboarding that you kind of want to disclose that no one may even heard about before?
Bird watching.
Dude, hidden talents?
Yeah. There's got to be something, like maybe you disclose to your kids that you always make them laugh or anything like that.
Oh, boy. I don't know if it's a hidden talent. I could probably tell you the stupidest thing I've ever done, which I did finally tell my son when he got his first motorcycle. And you'll appreciate this because today I ride a Harley Street Glide, but not that long ago I was riding CBRs. And
sweet,
we had tuned a CBR of mine just ridiculously, and we wanted to push the limits of it. Now you have to remember, this is in 1996. So technology in 1996, it was a CBR 900RR, was nowhere near the Hayabusas and the stuff that they make now.
But they were the Cadillacs in the street bike world, though.
They were insane. And so the bike was worked on by a guy named, nicknamed Honda Mike out of Ames, Iowa. And we had a friend that flew planes and rode with us. And then we had another guy that was a deputy sheriff. So we lined up an airport and a runway. And anyway, long story short, I got the bike to 186 miles an hour on a verified with a speed gun. Now, look at my speedometer. I thought I was doing like 200, but the speed gun actually said I did 186 miles an hour. I tipped my head up just a little bit as I was starting to slow down. So it's probably around 170 or so. And it literally ripped the face mask off my Arai helmet. It took the glass just clean off and damn near piled the bike up. It was just stupid crazy. And that's probably the dumbest thing I have ever done.
You know what? And you'll never forget it because that gets blueprinted into your brain, man.
186 miles an hour, buddy, is fast.
Tunnel vision. You know what? I'm glad you bring that up because I could relate. And I did something similar on live for the audience, Facebook and then IG. And just to kind of, disclose a little bit more about the East Coast life. So, hey, man, it sounds like you got a little East Coast blood in you. So we commend that for sure. For sure.
Love it.
So, Chase Rohlfsen from Rubline Marketing. What rattles your antlers?
Oh, boy.
What gets under your skin? What bothers you the most in the outdoor industry or even life in general?
Oh, biggest thing that gets under my skin. Social media arguments.
Amen.
Elaborate, please.
Hunters who feel the need tear each other down. As keyboard warriors, it literally drives me nuts. People on social media have a confidence about them because they never have to face the individual. And it's a false confidence. And they say things that they would never say to a person to their face. And it really bothers me that they feel that they can get away with tearing other people down, tearing other hunters down. When we have so much against us and they sit there and fight amongst themselves, whether you shoot with a rifle or a crossbow or a compound or a recurve, to each his own, man. Like, leave him alone. He likes to kill shit. End of story. So I don't care if you do it behind a high fence. I don't care if your passion is fair chase. I don't care if you hunt on 5 acres because it's the only thing that your grandma has that she lets you hunt, or whether you have 5,000. If that guy earned it, he worked hard for it, and he's got 5,000. Hell, I wish I was him. Actually, I really wish I was him right now. And if you're doing it on public land, kudos to you too. The bottom line is we're all the same. We all truly, if we'll actually admit it, we enjoy the kill. So quit fighting amongst yourselves, especially thinking that you have this Superman strength because you're behind a computer screen or your phone typing back to somebody on social media. Stop doing that crap.
Because Chase Rohlfsen said so.
Damn right.
Fuck.
See, now I'm 2 glasses in. See, now I'm 2 crowns in, so now I'm getting a little more confident.
Should we start over?
I'll send you guys a pic. So my daughter, our newest, she's 8 months. Her name's Blakelyn. And she is literally, I'm walking around the house. I got my earpiece in. And I'll send you a pic. She's literally crashed out listening. Like, you must be boring, or no, it's dad boring. Dad's boring because I'm doing all the talking. And she's KO'd on my shoulder as I'm walking around the house.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool, man. Hey, Chase, man. I mean, we're truly honored. And you know what? We could go on forever. So this is a perfect time to kind of just cut down and open for a part 2 of this session. Because I actually have a full page of more questions that I could dip into. But you bless us enough with your time, and you have knocked out little one in your shoulder. So we want to be sensitive to that. And we get it, man. And we really, really commend you for everything that you provide for the outdoor industry. Not just that, but what you provide for, you being you, man. Like I said.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on. Love to come back on the show sometime. Like I said, I'll leave you guys with this. Seriously, mad respect for the East Coast bow hunters. As a bow hunter myself, I will tell you, there might be one little rumor that's a little bit true when East Coast guys say, man, the guys in the Midwest have it so much easier. You are right. We do, because there's no way you can take a Midwest guy, stick him out on the East Coast with the big hardwoods that you guys have. I'm not having it. Give me a big old crop field and a single draw down the middle.
You know what? We usually end the show with a round of positivity, but that's the perfect way to end it, man. And on that note, man, stay stepping
and stay slaying.
Go straight to hell. Yeah, speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on East Coast.
First of all, I'm addicted to the show.
I like that. That's cool. Full hunt, you live it, you breathe it.
It's a whole different world.
Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind. It's a fantastic thing.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Well, number one is you guys like beer. I want to feel like I'm hanging with the boys.
You're the guys that showed up.
But I actually saw Jesus.
The point where it is now, where it's insane.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
I just want to get the realest people possible in the industry. It's going to piss people off. We're not doing it right.
Nothing forced. All fucking natural.